The city of Huyo woke up to a different kind of energy. The streets felt alive, the air hummed with expectation, and the sound of football once again dominated conversations. It was not just another day, it was a day that carried the weight of dreams, discipline, and destiny. The Super Eagles of Nigeria had gathered in camp ahead of their crucial FIFA World Cup qualifier against Rwanda. And right in the heart of it all stood their captain, William Troost-Ekong, a man who embodies both resilience and responsibility. But on this day, something extra colored the atmosphere. It was not only about tactical drills, fitness routines, or strategic discussions. It was about celebrating the life and journey of the man who has given his heart to the green and white jersey. The captain, the leader, the warrior at the back line. William Troost-Ekong was marking his birthday in camp. And in a true Nigerian way, the celebration was not about glitz or grand parties. It was about solidarity, about brotherhood, about finding joy in the middle of hard work. Long before the cameras began to flash and the camp began to swell with the faces of stars from across Europe and Nigeria's domestic league, William Troost-Ekong had already made a statement. He was one of the very first to arrive in camp. His presence sent an unspoken but clear message to every other player: commitment begins with discipline. Ekong did not wait for reminders. He did not stroll in late with excuses. He arrived early, showing by action what it means to lead. For younger players in the squad, it was a lesson louder than any team talk. Leadership is not about wearing the armband, it is about setting the standard. In football, as in life, those who arrive first often carry the heaviest responsibilities. Ekong knew the task ahead was daunting. The road to qualification was steep, with the Eagles facing slim chances. But his arrival signaled that if there was even a 1% chance, Nigeria had to give it 100% effort. The Super Eagles camp in Huyo is never just a collection of players. It is a family reunion, a melting pot of cultures, and a reminder that football binds Nigerians in a way that little else does. As players trickled in, some with smiles, some jet-lagged but excited, the sense of unity began to form. There was music in the background, laughter echoing in the hallways, and the rustle of boots and kits being unpacked. Yet beneath the joy, there was seriousness. Everyone knew why they were here. Rwanda was not coming to Huyo for tourism. They were coming to fight for their own World Cup dream. In that mix of determination and camaraderie, William Troost-Ekong's birthday slipped in almost naturally. There was no break in rhythm. The team found a way to weave celebration into preparation, joy into focus. Because that is the essence of the Super Eagles, they thrive on passion, but they never lose sight of the bigger goal. The celebration was simple, yet deeply symbolic. A small cake appeared, decorated in the colors of Nigeria. Teammates gathered around, clapping, singing, and smiling. For a moment, camp transformed from a ground of drills and sweat into a circle of brotherhood. Troost-Ekong, usually the one leading war cries in the tunnel before a match, stood with humility, receiving love from those he leads. The younger players looked at him with admiration, the older ones with respect. They understood that this was more than a birthday, it was a recognition of his service, his sacrifices, and his presence as a steady anchor in turbulent times. He smiled, thanked everyone, and made a wish. But deep inside, everyone knew what that wish was. It was not about personal glory. It was about seeing Nigeria return to the biggest stage in world football, the FIFA World Cup. To understand why this moment meant so much, you have to trace Ekong's journey. Born in the Netherlands to a Nigerian father and Dutch mother, William Troost-Ekong could have easily chosen another path. He could have pledged allegiance to the Netherlands, enjoyed smoother roads in European football, and avoided the struggles that often come with representing African teams. But he chose Nigeria. He chose the Super Eagles. He chose a weight of expectations, the noise of criticism, and the passion of millions who live and breathe football. And since 2015, when he made his debut, he has never looked back. From the 2018 World Cup in Russia to the 2019 and 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, Ekong has been there, wearing his heart on his sleeve. His leadership was never in doubt, not because he shouted the loudest, but because he stood the firmest. Through injuries, setbacks, and doubts, he has continued to show up, proving that loyalty and service to the nation are priceless. And so, celebrating his birthday in camp was not just about adding another year to his life. It was about honoring a man who has given his best years to the dream of Nigerian football. The reality cannot be ignored. The road to the 2026 World Cup is not smooth for Nigeria. The Super Eagles have left themselves little margin for error. Every game is now a must-win, every point a lifeline, and every mistake a potential heartbreak. But this is where inspiration matters most. Ekong's early arrival, his presence in camp, and the celebration of his life send a message louder than statistics or probabilities. This team is not giving up. Slim chances do not mean no chances. And as long as the Eagles have men like Troost-Ekong leading the charge, Nigeria has hope. Football is not played on paper, it is played with heart, sweat, and belief. And belief is something Nigerians never run out of. As the Eagles train in Uyo, millions of Nigerians are watching. From the streets of Lagos to the markets in Kano, from the schools in Port Harcourt to the villages in Enugu, the Super Eagles remain the heartbeat of the nation. Victories lift spirits, defeats weigh heavily, but in both cases, Nigerians remain glued. Troost-Ekong knows this. Every tackle he makes, every word he says in the dressing room, every standard he sets, it is not just for the 25 men in camp. It is for the nation of over 200 million. It is for the little boy kicking a ball on the street, dreaming of becoming the next captain. It is for the girl who believes football can open doors for her. It is for every Nigerian who sees in the Super Eagles a reflection of resilience. As the sun set over Uyo, the camp gradually settled into the rhythm of preparation. Training continued, tactical drills intensified, and focus returned to Rwanda. But somewhere in the hearts of the players, the memory of their captain's birthday lingered. It was not about cakes or candles. It was about meaning. It was about seeing that in the middle of pressure, there is room for joy. In the middle of doubt, there is room for faith. In the middle of slim chances, there is still belief. William Troost-Ekong's birthday in camp became a symbol of more than just age. It became a reminder of why the Super Eagles fight, why they sweat, and why they never stop believing. And so, as Nigeria prepares to face Rwanda, one thing is clear: the dream is alive. The path may be narrow, the stakes high, but with leaders like Ekong, the Super Eagles will step onto the pitch not just to play a game, but to carry the hopes of a nation. Because sometimes, birthdays are not just about marking life, they are about reminding the world why life, and in this case football, is worth fighting for.